Today's video is sponsored by Simply Safe. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Drew here from Lone Fox, and today we have a bedroom makeover. It's underneath the upstairs guest bedroom. This is going to be our first makeover that we are working on downstairs this year, which I'm so beyond pumped about. So I thought I'd give you a look at the before. So here is our starting point. I am in the hallway right now. I actually took the door off just so it's easier. There was a nice flow because we need to swap the direction of the door, which I'll talk about at a later time. Besides the point, there is already a bed in here, and the floor is really dusty right now because I actually had an electrician come earlier and install 2 sconces, and I just feel like whenever you can add any additional form of lighting to a space, it really adds a luxurious feel, and I love this, especially for a guest room. It really gives like the feeling of hotel lighting. Now, these are not the finished sconces. They do have a little shade that goes over the top, which you guys are gonna see in a bit, but he installed the kind of bases of them. We do have to patch this up down here, and then we are going to be painting this room. And something you might notice is that I have gone ahead and already swatched a few colors. And if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure to do so. I'll pop it up on the screen. It's just Lone Fox Home. I actually asked you guys your favorite color on my Instagram, and there seems to be a clear winner. The green family down here seems to be kind of like the winning zone. A lot of people are really leaning towards these 2 colors here, which I also love so much, but I think I'm actually gonna go for this one here because I really want something a bit more of like a pistachio green. These read a little bit sage to me, like a little darker. I want something more pistachio, light, bright. This room is such a beautiful bright space. I also have some really lovely olive curtains that I want to add, and I think they'll pair nicely with this color. This one is called Eddie from Pharaoh & Ball, but when you see it on white, I really think it would have been one of the clear winners. However, it is in my mind. So this is Cromartie from Pharaoh & Ball, and then this one here is Eddie, and I think I'm gonna go with Eddie for this room. I love this light so much. I've always wanted to use it, and I'm actually working with Anthro on a little project, so it finally became the perfect time for me to use these. So I thought I would use the green milk glass sconces on the wall, and these are like the half flush. They also have one that's like a full, imagine like half of this again on the other side, and it kind of sticks off the wall and scoops underneath. And then I also have a pendant light from the same collection we're gonna do in this room, but it's white, which I think is really going to emphasize the kind of minty shade in here. Okay, this is what the sconce looks like on the wall. It's just super clean, it's extremely flush, which I love. And let me turn the light switch on so you guys can see. I kind of love how it turns yellowy. I mean, of course it will because it's the light, as opposed to like enhancing the green and like, I don't know, making the
Essentially making the light green. And I also forgot to film on the camera the final results of the paint in here. So here are some clips from my phone. I hope you don't mind. It is so freaking challenging being a content creator for both platforms, I swear. I'm like, okay, did I film this on camera? Did I not? Did I film it on the phone? Which one did I do? Yeah, and I love the way that it looks. I did not paint the windows yet because I needed the primer and it was out of stock.
Today's video is sponsored by Simply Safe, which I love my Simply Safe. I am using this almost every single day. I'm touching this little pad here because this is actually my home security system, and whenever I leave, I arm it because I want everything to stay in my house. Stay in here, of course, like it needs to stay inside. No one else can take it. It gives me peace of mind. I'm able to check the cameras and everything, so we are going to arm up the security system. Click away, and we're out the door.
I've been using my Simply Safe home security system for about 4 years now. I actually had one in my previous apartment, and when I moved into my own home, I knew I was gonna be setting up a full-on home security system, and Simply Safe was the option that I opted for because it is the easiest, no-brainer solution for setting up home security. It shipped directly to your door, and I was able to set up my entire system in under an hour, and I did this a little over 2 years ago. But a recent addition that I added, which is actually an outdoor camera, because Simply Safe now offers their new ActiveGuard outdoor protection. Old school systems trigger once somebody's broken in, giving them time to still grab stuff. With SimpliSafe's Active Guard protection, monitoring agents actually react in real time to suspicious individuals approaching your home. That way they're able to speak to them, trigger alarms, or even request urgent police dispatch if needed. But something cool is that SimpliSafe's AI tech actually identifies familiar faces and alerts agents to threats. This means that trusted visitors like your family, neighbors, or dog walker are not going to be triggered as false alarms. The outdoor camera was extremely easy to set up, and I love how this is just super functional. I'm able to just check it from my phone, which makes it convenient from anywhere around the world. Having this extra layer of protection definitely going into the holiday season is especially a great time to add a home security system, because people know you're gonna have gifts for the holiday time, and that's when break-ins actually most commonly occur. So I too want you guys to stay safe this season, so you can save 50% on your SimpliSafe security system when you sign up for a select professional monitoring plan, and you can get your first month free. Just visit simplisafe.com/lonefox, linked below, to customize yours. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Today is going to be an exciting day. We are making a custom bed for this room. I really love the look of a pyramid or triangle shaped bed, and it's kind of playing around with different ideas and shapes that I would think I would like for this room, and I thought that that would kind of edge it up a bit because it is starting to feel a little cutesy. As you guys know, I do love cutesy. I love the look of like a romantic space, cutesy, pretty, I love that, but I also love to mix in like a little bit of my more edgy, kind of spooky elements, you know? I don't know. But I want to share with you how we're going to do this.
Now, my parents have requested a king-size bed for this room, so I knew I wanted to make the headboard 80 inches wide, and then I created a center point at 40 inches and added a mark at the top, and then drew 2 lines down to the side points that I want my triangle to start at.
We're kind of thinking this is a little too pointy, so we're gonna drop it and make it a little softer. So I'm gonna drop it to like about here. This looks so much better. I love it's just a little softer. It's about 52.5, so we're basically just gonna have to add a 4.5 inch leg to the bottom, and we're gonna wrap the leg in the fabric as well, so it just kind of looks more cohesive.
So let's get to work. Now, I ended up getting 2 pieces of MDF at the hardware store. These are 4 foot by 8 foot, which is perfect for a headboard, and we are going to use these double thick to make a nice substantial headboard. And I'm going to go ahead and first measure out to 80 inches and draw a line with my tape. And then I'm also gonna find the center point, which is 40 inches, and basically recreate the exact tape lines that I did on the wall and just kind of mark down on either side how far I want that angle to be, and then connect it up with a tape line. And then I'm going in with a few screws to screw together my 2 sheets of plywood. I made sure they were super symmetrical and lined up, screwed them together from the top and bottom. That way they're nice and secure, and then I used my circular saw to cut off all of the extra, and I made sure to cut on the outside of my tape border. So just make sure wherever you're applying your tape that you follow that all the way around, so you're not cutting on the inside or the outside of the tape. Just make sure that you're doing that right. And you can also draw arrows on your tape to make sure that your saw is in the right spot. This is how it's looking though. And always remember, you can do whatever shape you want on the top of your headboard, so explore shape ideas.
Alrighty, something I gotta say is that this MDF we got cut so nice and smooth. These lines look great, and we have our triangle peak. We are going to go ahead and now spray adhesive the foam that we got this morning to this outside, and then bring it inside for the upholstery process.
The adhesive I'm using here is a spray web adhesive, which essentially is kind of like silly string in adhesive form. It just creates a really nice upholstery base for foam. I'm using a 1-inch thick upholstery foam. I picked this up in downtown Los Angeles. They have a lot of different foam suppliers down there, so I got 3 sheets of this. It was $20 a sheet, and I was able to connect all of them up on top of the wood. And don't even worry about the seam lines, because we are going to be adding a piece of batting over the top, which is going to create a nice seamless look. But I did go through with my adhesive and add a little bit on the sides of the foam, so that way they stayed nice and connected. I used a box cutter to cut off the extra foam around the edge, and then went in for a more precise cut once I got off the bulk of it. And then we're gonna go over the top of this with a light layer of our web adhesive one more time, and then put on top of this some batting. And I got this again from the Fabric District in downtown. This is only $3 a yard, and I needed 2.5 yards of it, so it ended up costing me around, I think like $7 with tax or so. And the batting is essentially going to round out those harsh edges on the foam, and the way it's gonna round it out is by using a stapler. And I don't know if you were aware, but Ryobi actually sells a upholstery staple gun that requires no air pressure, which is great because a lot of them actually do. And this is sold literally at like a general hardware store, so I'll link it for you guys below because it came in so handy for this project. And you're basically just gonna staple into the edge of the wood of the headboard all the way around to secure your batting down, and then cut off the additional batting that's left behind. This is gonna round out that harsh corner there and get us prepared for the upholstery process, which this is a fabric fabric that I selected for the upholstery. The thing I liked about this was it has a lot of the colors that I wanted to incorporate in the rest of the room, but the other side actually had a stripe on it, so I kind of got two variations to go for, but I ended up opting for the gingham option. I just thought it felt a little bit more all over, and I lined up the first line on the first central point and stapled that on the top and bottom right in the middle because I didn't want that to move at all. And then from there, I actually stapled the left and the right top corners just to ensure that that line as well did not move while I started pulling and securing down the rest of the upholstery. And this upholstery, you're essentially gonna staple it right over the top of where we just upholstered down that batting on the edge. You're just going to add this. It doesn't have to be super clean because we are going to be adding a piece of trim that really cleans this all off. So I went all the way around. You're gonna do it on side sections, so each side, and then go to the side just directly across from it and pull it nice and tight and do that side. Trim off your extra fabric using scissors just like this. You can leave a little bit of an edge on there, and now I'm going in with some rope piping. This is what's going to make everything look stunning, and you've probably seen this before. This is actually called rope piping with an edge, meaning that the edge is what you're going to staple, and then the rope is going to be showing. So the rope is going to be on the top, and then the edge is going to be on the underside. And I'm using my stapler to go through, staple this rope piping all the way around, and I'm essentially doing this to cover up those staples that we just added for the fabric. And for our edge panel, I'm going to be cutting out just a strip that we can go all the way around the edge with. I genuinely always thought for upholstery, you had to like sew all these different pieces together and then stretch it over the form, but I was very wrong. Each section is actually stapled to the frame. So for the side panels, I'm using this little cardboard strip here called tack strip, and this is going to give you a super clean edge when you fold your fabric over. So essentially you're going to put this over the top of your fabric, staple it, and butt it right up to your rope trim. And then when you fold this down over the top of that cardboard strip, when it folds down, it's gonna be a nice, crisp, clean edge. Because if you just stapled that, imagine you fold it over, it's going to be a very puckery, just if you didn't staple it perfect, it's not gonna look very nice. So you're gonna go all the way around, and that tack strip there is what's going to give you a super clean, crisp edge. Whoever invented this is just so clever. So then I flipped it over to the back side and got to stapling our fabric. I just pulled this tight so it was nice and secure on our edge, and then stapled it on the back all the way around and cut off all of that extra. And the last step in this upholstery process is going to be adding one more piece of our rope trim, and you're going to be stapling the edge directly on the back side with the rope facing outwards. And this is going to make that side panel of the headboard almost look tufted or really nicely upholstered, I guess is what the look is. And the fun thing is that you can do contrast rope trim, you can do this on any shape, and you can do really any size.
It's done. How long did this take? Well, it took like 3-4 hours.
We started after lunch.
At like 2. 1:30.
Yeah.
It's like 5:30, almost 6. Maybe like 4
Almost-
hours.
Almost 4 hours.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't do that much.
Yeah, I was kind of like the main one just to film, you know? Okay. Oh, she is heavy. We are now going to install some curtains. And the fun thing about this curtain panel set is I'm actually doing double panels. Never ever done a double panel in my life. I don't know why, I just always needed to, I felt like I needed to like master hanging up a single curtain rod first. And a double rod always seemed intimidating, but it's literally the same thing. It just has 2 rods. You do the same exact install as a single rod, so.
And the way I find hanging curtains easiest is just to take the panel, put it on the rod, see how long you want it, and just kind of mark the first bracket. You definitely need someone else to be there so they can help you. It just is, I find, the easiest to make sure that it looks the best. And once you have your first bracket secured, then you're gonna use a laser level to place your other bracket and just align it with that first bracket and measure out from the window how far the other bracket is, and then just add that second one. Add on your curtain panels. These are from Anthropologie. They are the olive velvet panels. They are so stunning. And my sheer panels, I actually just got these at IKEA. I just went one night and picked them up. They were like $10 for a set of 2. I'll link the exact ones I have below, and I love them.
It is looking so good in here. I'm so happy with how the headboard look. Oh, Alexa just said something. I'm so happy with how the headboard is looking. We just got one of the rugs in here from my collection, and this is a rug I feel like it's kind of slept on, and this is the Elysian. It is so pretty though. You can see that it has this really pretty kind of sky blue color. It's like a powdery blue, and then it has little bits of this kind of rust, and there's amber in here as well. It also has kind of like a little muted border throughout. I really love how subtle this rug reads, and it has this really delicate fringe edge as well. I like the soft tones that we have going on here. It's just very kind of a play on tones. And something I'll say too is the mattress has me leaning in a direction of including more white in the space, because I'm kind of loving this dark navy color here. I'm loving the white. I love this whole look that's happening, especially up there. So something that we need to add for the bed is actually our little skirt section. So we constructed this bed frame here, and this is just from Amazon. It's a wooden bed frame. I'll link it for you guys below. And we're just going to essentially create some panels for these out of the same fabric, and the panels are gonna go across and be stapled right on top of the edge of our bed and then fold right over and down. It's gonna kind of act as like a bed skirt in a sense. Here is what our side panels for the bed are gonna look like. I just have a bunch of it cut right now, and Justin went ahead and just kind of pressed down this edge. So we have a nice clean edge, just so. And then this edge here is actually gonna be stapled right underneath where the mattress sits, so you're not gonna see it. And then I'm also gonna need to seam the sides as well. We just went ahead and sewed and cut all the panels that we need to upholster the bottom section. And we're gonna do something where we kind of do a under kind of panel first, which is gonna be these corner sections here. So these little sections are going to be stapled on first, and then these are gonna be stapled over the top. Now I know a lot of you are probably wondering, Drew, how are you going to wash this bed skirt? And the answer is, I'm probably not going to. I just don't imagine this room getting a extreme high traffic amount of use. I do have another guest room in my house, which I'm super grateful for. So that is a space that does tend to get a little bit more use. So in this space, I did just staple it to the bed frame itself, but you can also completely Velcro this as well. It's an option. I just wanted something quick and easy, so I opted for stapling it down and added the mattress back. Now, the dresser and nightstands in this room are also from Anthropologie. I got their 6-drawer Isla dresser in the walnut colorway, and it is so beautiful. It has fluted details in the, I don't know why I said fluted. It has fluted details, these brass handles, soft close drawers. I just like also how the edges are rounded, because this is a very tight spot for a dresser. It fits perfect here, but sharp corners here kind of would be a little bit more harsh, and I love the rounded nature of these corners. I styled up the top of the dresser with a bunch of vintage finds from my online shop, which is lonefox.com, which by the way, we're having a start of summer sale online right now, 20% off site-wide, and a bunch of what you're seeing here is not exactly available online because it's in here, but very similar. Similar items are available online. I love sourcing things for you guys, so definitely take advantage of that. Now, bedding in this room got me good, you guys. Something I'm going to completely just let you know is I don't think I love the headboard fabric I selected. It made the bedding a challenge for sure, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna do something really crazy and daring and go for a really bold headboard. But the only thing I felt that looked good with that was super simple bedding. So I opted for this here, which is kind of just like a simple white quilt. I do definitely want to swap this out for some sort of coverlet or duvet, but I just didn't have anything light on hand. So this is what I'm going with for now. And over by the closet and bathroom doors, I'm adding this vintage chair and a coat rack I recently got from Pearson Ward and West Elm. I love that collab so much. And this coat rack I felt is just so cute for a guest room. You could put bags on it, you could put clothes on it, hats, whatever you want. Even, you know, you can even put coats on it if you wanted to, but I just thought it was a universal piece for a guest room. They could throw whatever they want on it. And I also added a crest mirror from Anthro over on the side and had to do a little pose in there. So then I shot the final clips and went to edit them and was just not living for them. I just felt like there was so much space above the bed, and I just felt like I either had to change up the bedding and make it more interesting or add something behind or on top of the bed to make that more interesting. And so I got to the drawing board and I tried out so many different variations. I literally did a bunch of different art above the bed. I even hung a massive crazy quilt. I did different bedding styles. I tried so many different things. I was sending photos to Justin all day long on Sunday being like, I cannot get this bedding and like art combo to work. Until I asked my mom, and she said that she really would have loved some of those pressed flowers that I used in ollie space above the bed. So I just framed 5 of those up with some frames and added them over the bed, and I really feel like that added a nice impact. And it is time to share with you the final reveal of this room.